Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm trying out two different formats just to see which one is better. But yeah, let's just get into this. Players that the Red Wings should trade. I'm not saying who they should trade them for. I might give an estimated value of what these players should be traded for if they're like a package deal or whatever. But there are four guys on this list that I think the Red Wings should try and trade because I think Stevie Y could pull off some pretty good trades with these guys. Number one, this isn't like ranked in best to worst, it's just the ones that I came up with. Mark Stahl. Now, Mark Stahl is his first year here, he wasn't the best, but this year he's actually improved to being a decently good defenseman for the Red Wings. And I feel like he could probably fetch a value of a draft pick or two. Knowing Steve Yzerman, he could probably get a good draft pick with a young, struggling defenseman who we then turn into like what Olli Juolevi's kind of been right now, where in the past few games, Olli Juolevi has been a very good defenseman for the Red Wings right now, despite struggling in the past. So if we can get some struggling young prospects in return for some of these guys and turn them into good players, because usually those struggling young prospects are just from teams mismanaging them, then we can get really good value. But yeah, Mark Stahl, I think we can trade him and get a good return for it with Stevie Y. I mean, look what we got for freaking Anthony Mantha. We got Jakub Vrana in picks, and right now Jakub Vrana is tearing it up ever since he came back from being 4 months out with a shoulder injury. It's like he didn't even skip a beat. And that's what we got for Anthony Mantha. Imagine what we can get for Mark Stahl and some of these other guys on here. But yeah, Mark Stahl, I think we trade him. I would be a bit sad to see him go. I can't even lie, I've kind of grown to like him a little bit, despite absolutely hating him his first year here. His second year here, I've actually kind of grown to like him because he's played well. But I think we can get a good trade return for him and maybe even package him with the next guy that I'm going to mention. That guy being Nick Letty, another defenseman. Nick Letty, I think, would be a similar return for Mark Stahl because he's kind of played around a similar level. I know Red Wings fans on Twitter don't like Nick Letty, but I feel like that's more of a narrative because his actual play, when you watch him just objectively, like without bias or anything, Nick Letty is a good defenseman on the same level as Mark Stahl right now. And I think we could get a similar return, some picks, maybe a younger, better defenseman if we give up a few picks, if we package him with another player. Who knows? I know Stevie can get a good package. I'm not saying, what we should trade him for. I'm just saying we should trade him. I'm going to leave the getting a good return part up to Steve Yzerman because he's really good with that stuff. I don't know if he hypnotizes these other GMs to get some of the trade return that he does, but I don't care how he does it. I just hope he does it again, which he probably will. But yeah, Nick Letty, decent defenseman who can probably fetch a good return. He is on the older side. He's in his 30s, I'm pretty sure. I think we need to kind of trade him off the roster the same way Mark Stahl. It's not because he's playing horrible. It's just because we need to get better and get younger, which we're doing a good job of, but yeah. Now, this next guy up, I feel like is going to be a bit controversial because I haven't heard a lot of people bring his name up in trade conversations. Adam Erne. Now, Adam Erne last year had a very good year. In 45 games, he scored 11 goals, and he's a guy who can lay down hits. I mean, we've seen that before. But along with that, he's a guy who can score goals. But this year, he has not played the best statistically wise when it comes to scoring. He has not played the best. I do think that there are still things he does that don't show up in the box score that are good for the Red Wings, like his ability to lay down hits on people, and he's a decent defensive player, and he can screen the goalie sometimes because he's got a bigger body. He can do just those kind of things on offense and defense that don't show up in the box score but help your team. But he has been struggling with the Red Wings, and while I really like Adam Erne, he is one of my more favorite players, I like Adam Erne, and I want him to do good. And if I think he can go back to last year form, then I think we should keep him. But right now, he is still younger. He's 26. But right now, I think we need to trade him because we could get a really good return for him because another team wants to try and grab his potential, because there is still some there that he can reach and become a very good player. So I think Stevie should trade him because he could get some amazing trade value out of him. The last one on the list. This one is one that basically everyone has brought up in trade rumors for the Red Wings. Thomas Grice. This one, I like Thomas. I like Thomas Grice. He's a good goalie. I mean, we've seen him this year. His stats have been down, but we've seen him go in there and just be a brick wall against teams and play beautifully. But here he is a backup, and I think we could trade him to a team that is struggling at goalie. We could trade him to a team that's struggling at goalie for a good player. We could get someone to help our offense or defense. Mainly, I feel like we should trade these guys for better defensemen because we need to work on our defensive depth. It is not there. I get we are trading away defensive depth in this, but in return, we'd get better defensive depth is what I'm hoping for. But Thomas Grice could fetch a very, very, very good return to a team that is struggling at goalie, whether that be draft capital or players. I don't care which, because I know Stevie Y will turn either into an amazing win for the Red Wings. And just, people have mentioned it before. Teams that are struggling at goalie will want Thomas Grice because he is a good Band-Aid for a year or two while they're waiting to develop a good goalie prospect or sign a good goalie or trade for a good goalie or whatever. He can serve as a Band-Aid for a season or two for a team that is struggling or rebuilding, and he will work for them handsomely the same way that he did last year for the Red Wings. So I think we could trade him and get a very good return. I'll see you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny. And I'm going to try and, with this content, I'm going to try and alternate different teams, like Tigers, Red Wings, Pacers, Colts, FC Cincinnati, Kyle Larson, Panthers, alternate all of these teams in with these kinds of videos as I'm transitioning away from game recaps and news recaps and stuff like that. Just kind of cycle in interesting stories or interesting trade proposals or something like that between these different teams and stuff like that. And I think it'll be more enjoyable. See you guys next time.